Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, people from all over. Karibuni sana kwa hii show. Sorry for the slight delay, but we are back. Asante sana. Thank you for being part of this great show that normally happens here at Afrique 24. Karibu sana, nijuze unantazama ukiwa wapi. Karibu tu sana. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, people from all over. Karibuni tu sana. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I have another good one, another interesting one. Karibuni tu sana. Welcome to this show. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are fine. Karibuni tu sana. Thank you very much for keeping it Afrique 24. This is your home away from every other home. Karibu sana. Let us have a great conversation here at Afrique 24. Pole tumeanza kidogo tumechelewa mshiki kiasi lakini we are back. Karibu tu sana. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Nijuze unatazama ukiwa wapi, but zaidi ya yote karibu kwa hii show. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, people from all over. Karibuni, karibuni, karibuni. Welcome to this show. I know you have been waiting for it. Mmekuwa mkiulizia na sasa show nayo ndo hiyo imeanza. Karibu tu sana. Karibu tu sana. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the channel Afrique 24. Alright, nijuze unantazama ukiwa wapi na hii inakufikia ukiwa wapi, watu ambao wanantazama from all over. This is your show, this is your host, none other than Jakes the moderator. Ninayo show moja kali, show moja fiti, show hii utapenda tu sana. Karibuni, karibuni, karibuni tu sana. I am here ready with another awesome edition. Alright, today hii ya leo mtapenda. It has serious issues happening here kwa hii ya leo. Hii ya leo iko na several revelations exposed by Raila Odinga. How true that is, it is up to us to try to siphon and see. But where niko moto. Tulianza hii show jana. Tulianza tu jana. We were just talking yesterday. But where little did we know it will make the presser for today. Did you watch yesterday's show? It was almost a prediction of what would happen, or rather what happened today. But zaidi ya yote karibu sana. Niwape kitangulizi. Karibu, karibu. Welcome to the show. All right. I don't know where you are finding this show from, but karibuni sana. It is an interesting show about to happen just about now. Just tell me where this is finding you and do you believe in what we are about to discuss? We have another one, a good one lined up for you. I am telling you. This one you must truly enjoy. I have a great one lined up for you. This has been made courtesy of the damaging revelation made by one Raila Molo Odinga concerning the meeting that happened in State House. What do you make of it? I'll be sharing some serious and damaging revelation that has happened, or rather were brought by one Raila Amolo Odinga. You remember Chebukati? Chebukati could be back, or Chebukati could be back, and maybe back as a very senior person in the country. What kind of seniorness? He could head the most senior office, one arm of government, and that is the executive. If not sorry, the judiciary. The executive is headed by one William Ruto. So the judiciary is now headed by one Martha Koome. But kuna deals, as you learn from this show, concerning one Chebukati. What do you make of Chebukati? But where I see wengi tayari washani join. Namwona Gudi anasema she was waiting in the wings. All right. Na unasema hi Jakes, have got to hurry the alarm clock. Sawa sawa, karibuni sana, karibuni sana. Chebukati, the Chief Justice. Well, I'm telling you, it will be interesting to see what happens from here on. But welcome to this show. We are about to have one fine discussion hapa kwa Afrique 24. We are about to look at things making headlines. Things making headlines. Ndizo vitu tunaangalia, all right? We are looking at things making headlines and wow. Wow. I tell you. Nimepause because I want you to imagine Chebukati as the next Chief Justice. I want you to imagine Chebukati as the next Chief Justice. What do you make? What does that even mean? The secret behind what happened or what transpired between the meeting from Ruto and Koome are revealing that probably kulikuwa na more than what we were told. According to Raila Odinga, one Martha Koome went in to seek some several favors. One was financial. Two, equally Ruto had his own bargain. He wanted five judges, some for the appellate court and equally some for the high court, and as well, soon and very soon, have Isaac Hassan, the former IBC chairperson, and one Chebukati equally come back as judges in these courts. Well, I don't know. But before even we go far, I want to take a minute or so to really pass my condolences to the people who lost their lives yesterday night in Embakasi. It's quite a tragedy, and we here at Afrique 24 sympathize with the family. We really pray for you that God will be with you despite these trying and hard times. This was so untimely. No one should really die cause of fire, but where it happened, and we here at Afrique 24, we sympathize and really mourn with those who are bereaved. Equally, we wish quick recovery and God's healing to those who were burned by the fire, the inferno that happened yesterday night. Of course, we were able to cover it here at Afrique 24, and we are really sorry for what that happened to you and the great people of Embakasi. Poleni sana, poleni, poleni sana. We'll be looking at that even as we go on with this bulletin. So take it from us. We from Afrique really sympathize with what happened, and we ask that justice may be found and the root cause and everything may be found, and eventually this should never happen again. Thank God it wasn't as worse as it could have been. But we thank God for his guidance, protection, and really taking care of the people of Embakasi. All right. To those in hospital, quick recovery. All right. Karibu sana kwa hii show. Ninayo show moja kali. Of course, I've been joined by Mr. G. He seems tired, but hii show ya leo hange miss. Hii ya leo hange miss kwa sababu once you hear Chebukati is coming back, whoa, yo, everyone must join in the show. Do you want Chebukati back? That is what we are asking ourselves. Is Chebukati coming back and coming back in a big way? How is he coming back? Coming back to replace CJ Martha Koome. How can that come to be? That's what we are going to be looking at in this show. But that is your headlines, ladies and gentlemen, that Chebukati is back. He's back, and he's back courtesy of one William Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya. On your photo and screens, you see Raila Odinga, the man that is giving the revelation and the expose of what transpired in the meeting that happened between one William Ruto, whom you see on your photos, and equally one Martha Koome. These two fine leaders discussed and made some dealings. How true this is, we will find out in times to come. But I'm telling you, this is as an expose that I'm sure is going to really send some minds thinking, some tongues talking, some balls rolling. Itakuwa interesting from here going forward. What do you make of Chebukati? Really, many have blamed him for the bungled election 2022, but now him coming back as a chief justice, what does it even mean? Will Kenyans even allow it? Well, what does that even mean? Truly speaking, what will that mean? Chebukati coming back as the chief justice, what would that even mean? Is it something that Kenyans have embraced, or rather are ready for? Is it something that we should have have our minds think and look at, really. But where I'm telling you. All right. So let's listen into this even as we begin the show. Tuna show moja kali. I'll be telling you and letting you know how to join in the show. All right. Listening to this even as we begin this news bulletin.
The One Kenya Coalition Party leader Raila Odinga is accusing President William Ruto of what he terms intentions to capture the High Court and the Court of Appeal, claiming the president has already captured the Supreme Court. Odinga said the meeting between President William Ruto and Chief Justice Martha Koome at State House Nairobi was one of his tactics to have a friendly judiciary. And as Emily Chebet reports, the Azimio leader says the meeting was part of Ruto's plan to influence the hiring of judges of the High Court and the Court of Appeal.
Azimio la Umoja One Kenya Party leader Raila Odinga has accused the president of executing a plot to capture the judiciary. According to Odinga, the meeting between Supreme Court President Martha Koome and President William Ruto was ill-advised, saying Kenyans were not told the truth about what transpired during the meeting.
At the meeting, the Chief Justice and Mr. Ruto reached an agreement that will supposedly allow Mr. Ruto to provide additional funding to the judiciary. In return for this additional funding, Justice Koome is to advertise vacancies for 5 additional High Court judges and 11 Court of Appeal judges. This is in addition to the 20 judges advertised last year. As a matter of fact, the advertisement of the 11 judges has just been done today. It is in today's Gazette.
According to Odinga, the William Ruto-led government believes it has already captured the Martha Koome-led Supreme Court with his focus on what he called the problematic law cause, which he intends to staff with his loyalists.
In that agreement, the 5 High Court judges and 2 Court of Appeal judges will be for Mr. Ruto to forward to the JSC. And he floated the names. Immediate former IBC chairman, Mr. Fuller Chebukati, and former IBC chairman, Ahmed Isaac Hassan, are to be appointed as Court of Appeal judges, with Chebukati later being elevated as the Chief Justice before the 2027 general elections.
Odinga has also accused CJ Koome of endorsing illegality by accepting allocation of money from the presidency.
The presidency cannot allocate any money to the judiciary. Madam Koome knows this, and yet has willingly proceeded to associate herself with and endorse an illegality. Where Koome sought money from the State House and not from Parliament, only she can explain, but it spells doom.
Raila was categorical that the constitution established the Judiciary Fund, which is supposed to be administered by the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary.
To the best of our knowledge, the judiciary has never said that it submitted budget estimates to Parliament and it was rejected. You have not seen any petition by the judiciary to Parliament over rejection of submitted budget estimates, if any. We challenge Madam Koome to provide otherwise, to prove otherwise.
According to the Azimio party leader, the trajectory that the Ruto administration is taking is dangerous for the country. Emily Chebet, Citizen TV in Nairobi.
All right. So that is happening, ladies and gentlemen. And it's going to be interesting in the coming days. What are we looking at? We are looking at this, ladies and gentlemen, the expose that one Chebukati, the former IBC chairperson, Mr. Chebukati, could be coming back. Mr. Chebukati could be coming back to be the Chief Justice. That's what one Raila Odinga has opined. And this is after the meeting that happened between William Ruto and uh, Martha Koome. A Monday or so ago, I think a week ago, we saw Martha Koome meet William Ruto in State House. the meeting came out to be, as they said, they were talking about corruption when they came out. But Kumbe, according to Raila Odinga, there is more than what meets the eye or what Kenyans were told. Shockingly enough, is that there was some underground understanding between the president and one Martha Koome in as far as who gets what and why. What did Martha Koome get? She got some fundings for judiciary. In return, what was William Ruto to get, according to Raila Odinga? To get 5 judges. Among the judges to be added from the list that was already there, the 20, to have now 5 more, so as to get 25. Now, from these five, several will go to the Court of Appeal and some will go to the High Court. And those who go to the Court of Appeal somehow, eventually grow to the level of being the Chief Justice or serve in this Supreme Court as judges. One of the person that was fronted and the name thought to be was one Chebukati. Chebukati, many have blamed for the 2022 general election. Many have complained of how he handled the election. Many have really come out to castigate his involvement in what they described as unclear and verifiable general election 2022. All right. Pundits still have it that in 2022, they feel something went wrong, something went amiss, and probably Chebukati had something to do with it. In 2022, Chebukati was seriously blamed together with the likes of Mr. Camargo. And now that his name is coming up, what could that really mean? Could we be seeing a twist of what might have transpired during 2022 general election? Could there be a different understanding that was made, given that Chebukati was nearing his retirement or his tenure was coming to an end? Could he have been promised something and it's now to pay the promise by giving him one arm of the government, that is the judiciary? Could that have been the reason why Chebukati did what he did? Many say Chebukati went missing several hours before the announcement of the elections. Now that he's eyeing the grand seat, the Chief Justice seat, could it be a vindication to what probably Mr. Raila Odinga was saying, that probably Chebukati bungled the elections? I don't know. I'm just thinking out aloud. I don't know. That is for you to tell me and for us to discuss here at Afrique 24. But this expose really leaves a lot to be desired. To be desired. What do you make of it, ladies and gentlemen? What do you make of it? Can Chebukati be the person that really takes over from Martha Koome? What will that even mean? Will he be a fair judge? Did you find him fair when he was an IBC chairperson? Was he the person that you'd, of course, one of the qualities of a nice IBC chairperson is to be there, to have the ability to hold the office of a judge. Eh? Are we using that option to make him a judge? Of course, I think he was either a former or served in the courts, and now his comeback could mean he's going to the highest seat ever, that of being a chief justice. What does that even mean, ladies and gentlemen? That is what we are looking at here at Africa 24. What do you make of those damning revelations by Raila Odinga? Can we have a chief justice who was a former IBC chairman? Can that even happen? If it happens, what are the repercussions? This is the chairman that handed the sitting president his victory. What would it mean when the sitting president in the next general election is to face him in that he is now the Supreme Court judge determining the case? Would you even would you even agree with the verdict? Kenyans, this show is for you. Let us see. Let us see. What do you make of Raila's today damaging revelation? It is something that has shocked many. Of course, yesterday we looked at why the petition has been filed to remove Martha Koome from office. Kumbe, that is how it could begin. All right. That is how it could begin, by one creating a case against her, have her ejected from office, and then create a vetting process. When you create a vetting process via JSC, have judges or people come and present themselves. One of the person who can come and present himself for for a position is none other than Chebukati. All right, so Chebukati akuja ahojiwe by JSC, aulizwe your role and everything, ajitete, and then the names be sent to the president. The president picks three, of course, apik majina matatu, but kwa hiyo majina matatu ambayo wanachagua, kama vile ambavyo Martha Koome na wengine wawili walitumwa majina yao kwa Uhuru Kenyatta, and then Uhuru Kenyatta can decide from these three, this one person is the one I feel should be the Chief Justice. From the three names sent to the president now picks one from the three. So last time the president picked one of the names, and the name he picked was Martha Koome. All right, he knows why. He knows better why he chose Martha Koome to be the Chief Justice. So here is yesterday, we were talking about the petition filed to have her removed from office. Today, we are talking about the likelihood of seeing Chebukati coming back as a Chief Justice. Ina sound kama movie, but wadau, see movie, it is the real truth. It is something that could happen. What do you make of it? But zaidi ya yote, like hii video, subscribe to Afrique24. Let us keep the conversation going. I can show you how to join the show. To join in the show, kupitia links ambazo zinakutokelezea hapo kwa comment section. Hizo ndio link unatumia kujiunga nasi kwa studio. Guza hiyo link, alafu itakuleta moja kwa moja hadi hapa kwa studio. That link sends you to StreamYard. Ukifika StreamYard unafanya vitu vitatu. Ya kwanza, unawasha kamera. Ya pili, unawasha mic. Ya tatu, unaandika jina. Alright? Ukishaandika jina, una click enter. Ukiclick enter, unajikuta umeingia kwa show. Alright? So kindly fanya hima, wacha tusikie maoni yako. What do you make of the comeback of one Mr. Chebukati? What does that even mean? Can you imagine having Chebukati as the next Chief Justice? Can you imagine Chebukati determining the case between William Ruto and the complainant who will have gone to court in 2027 seeking presidential justice, secondary to an election, probably maljustice or malpractice? What do you make of Chebukati being the next Chief Justice? What would that even mean? All right, so I'll be equally taking you through the letter that one Mr. Raila Odinga, the former Prime Minister, wrote, or not really a letter, but the statement that he issued. All right, I'll be taking you through it, and we will be looking at it comprehensively. What does it mean? What does it mean when we have Chebukati being the next Chief Justice? In any case, I think we should first listen to the whole speech by Raila Odinga, because that one, it's not that long. I think it's around 10 minutes. Let's stick in for that. Let's listen into it and really get the gist of what he was saying, because he really brought out a lot of statements that really shook many, including us who had a show yesterday. And we talked about this. This is what we are about to look at and discuss here at Afrique 24. Ladies and gentlemen, tell me what you think. What do you make of what Raila Odinga has said? Raila Odinga has exposed the meeting between William Ruto and Martha Koome, the meeting that may see the comeback of one Chebukati as the next Chief Justice of Kenya. What do you make of it? Is this something that you can consider? All right, let's listen into the entire speech and then be back just now and discuss what could have caused all this. Listen in, ladies and gentlemen, to all this.
Okay. Well, the statement I want to read here is about the judiciary executive deal should get Kenyans worried. We raised alarm when information emerged that the head of the judiciary, Madam Martha Koome, was seeking a meeting with the head of the executive, Mr. William Ruto, supposedly to iron out differences between the two branches of government. This followed a threat by Ruto and some members of his party and the administration against the judiciary, following a string of unfavorable rulings against the executive. We warned that there was more than met the eye in the threats by Ruto and the request for a meeting by Madam Koome. We warned then that Mr. Ruto's real intention was to complete the capture of the branches of the government by the executive by taking over the judiciary, force it to forever rule in his favor, in addition to populating the institution with the loyalists. We also warned that in this entire plan, the judiciary was showing signs of willingness to prostrate itself before the presidency in an arrangement that spells grave danger to the rule of law and the entire country. We now know what transpired at a State House meeting, and it is completely different from the lie the country was fed after that event. We can now confirm that there exists an elaborate plan that will allow Mr. Ruto to appoint friendly judges to the judiciary with the complete concurrence of Chief Justice Koome. This was among the issues discussed and agreed on during the ill-advised meeting between Ruto and Koome at State House. At the meeting, the Chief Justice and Mr. Ruto reached an agreement that will supposedly allow Mr. Ruto to provide additional funding to the judiciary. In return for this additional funding, Justice Koome is to advertise vacancies for 5 additional High Court judges and 11 Court of Appeal judges. This is in addition to the 20 High Court judges advertised last year. As a matter of fact, the advertisement of the 11 judges has just been done today. It is in today's Gazette. In that agreement, the 5 High Court judges and 2 Court of Appeal judges will be for Mr. Ruto to forward to the JSC. And he floated the names. Immediate former IBC chairman, Mr. Fuller Chebukati, and former IBC chairman, Ahmed Isaac Hassan, are to be appointed as Court of Appeal judges, with Chebukati later being elevated as the Chief Justice before the 2027 general elections. The targeting of the High Court and the Court of Appeal by Ruto is intentional. The administration believes it has completely captured the Supreme Court and now wants to target the problematic lower courts by stuffing them with loyalists with the cooperation of the Chief Justice. After filling the executive with people of questionable integrity and capacity, and who will remain eternally grateful to him, Mr. Ruto is looking to set up a user-friendly judiciary full of people with questionable pasts and limited capacity. And unfortunately, the Chief Justice is gladly smiling along and playing the ball. Officially, Mr. Ruto is supposed to have agreed to give additional funding to the judiciary. That is a cover-up. The judiciary does not draw any funding from the executive or State House. Article 1, which is administered by the Chief Justice, Register of the Judiciary. which is administered by the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary. The provision of the Judiciary Fund, as contained in Article 173, states as follows. 1. There is established a fund to be known as the Judiciary Fund, which shall be administered by the Chief Registrar of the Judiciary. 2. The fund shall be used for administrative expenses of the judiciary and such other purposes as may be necessary for the discharge of the functions of the judiciary. 3. Each financial year, the Chief Registrar shall prepare estimates of expenditure for the following year and submit them to the National Assembly for approval. 4. Upon approval by the National Assembly, the expenditure of the judiciary shall be a charge on the consolidated fund, and the fund shall be paid directly into the judiciary fund. 5. Parliament shall enact legislation to provide for the regulation of the fund. The presidency cannot allocate any money to the judiciary. Madam Koome knows this, and yet has willingly proceeded to associate herself with and endorse an illegality. Where Koome sought money from the State House and not from Parliament, only she can explain, but it spells doom. To the best of our knowledge, the judiciary has never said that it submitted budget estimates to Parliament and it was rejected. You have not seen any petition by the judiciary to Parliament over rejection of submitted budget estimates, if any. We challenge Madam Koome to prove otherwise. Ruto is engaged in maneuvers designed to mitigate the ability of the courts to act as a check against the executive power at a time he has already muzzled legislative power through the capture of Parliament. And if you want to know that the National Assembly is captured, take note that the National Assembly Speaker, Moses Wetangula,
doctors, nurses, and engineers who have ever dreamed of living in Australia now have an opportunity.
filed a notice of appeal at the Supreme Court, challenging the appeal court's decision that declined to extend order allowing housing levy deductions. The housing levy is being imposed by the executive, which is also the branch of the government who lost at the Court of Appeal. But it is Mr. Wetangula who has moved to the Supreme Court. What a shame. His loud protests against the court ruling were meant to intimidate and paralyze the courts. The latest move agreed on at the meeting with the Chief Justice are meant to enable him to pack the courts with the Kenya Kwanza friendly appointees. The scheme is further meant to transfer certain judges from the courts to the IBC so that Ruto has a grip on the courts and the election management body as well. Where this country goes from here, should Ruto complete his intended capture of all branches of the government, should be everyone's worry. The capture of the judiciary, of all institutions, the beginning of a steady descent into anarchy. It is the beginning of the embrace of the law of the jungle instead of the rule of law. Impunity and capture of independent institutions by a corrupt executive is what drove Kenya to war in 2007-2008. A repeat exercise seems to be underway, and the results might not be different. And Kenyans have been here before. Still, when the Judicial Service Commission advertises vacancies next week, Kenyans will know what it means and who will get the jobs. It means 5 new judges picked by Mr. Ruto for the High Court and 2 judges in the name of Chebukati and Hassan equally picked by Ruto. And the descent into the abyss will get a new momentum. In the meantime, we challenge Mr. Ruto and Madam Koome to tell the truth about their meeting. End of statement.
Jix, you're on mute. Hard to speak.
Oh, sorry. That is what formed the show, and that is what informs what we are about to discuss just about now. Asante sana kwa kujiunga nasi. I'm equally joined by able gentlemen here in the show. We are about to discuss what does it even mean to have Chebukati as a judge. You know, what does it even mean to have him come back and even probably become the next Chief Justice? Well, Wadau. Kenyans, should we be worried? Yeah, should we be worried? What does that even mean? All right. I'm joined by jamaa najita Julia Sabuti na mwingine najita Kisumu CC and Mr. G. Karibuni sana wapendwa kwa hii show. We are about to discuss what could this mean? What does it mean to have Chebukati as a judge, either in the appellate court or even as the Chief Justice? Who stands to gain and why have him? Does it even raise suspicion now and on what happened in 2022? That's what we will be discussing here in the show. Karibu sana. Allow me to invite them and we discuss this, okay? Well, let me begin with the newcomers first, Mr. G. Mr. Julius, habari ya leo? Hope you're well. Mr. Julius Abuti. Can you hear me, sir? Hello, can you hear me? All right, even as we work on his end, Kenya, Kisumu CC, hi, how are you? Kisumu Pacho.
I'm fine.
Hi, uko fiti?
I'm very fine.
All right, now let's begin from where Raila Odinga has just spoken. What do you make of any appointment of these judges? The 7 of them he's talking about, either to the High Court or to the Appellate Court, the 2 who joined the Appellate Court, and with 2 serious names, Isaac Hassan, the one who presided over the 2013 general election, and Chebukati, the 2017 and 2022 general election. What do you make of them being appointed as judges? What does it even mean?
Okay. First of all, good evening, guys.
Good evening to you, sir.
Yes. I wouldn't want to speak much. I'm still committed somewhere here, but I want to just give a comment before I will come into the show proper later. What I want to say is that Ruto is just busy making his 2027 re-election. And 2, he's busy rewarding people who made him president in the past election as the president. Whatever game he's trying to play with Kenyans about judiciary and executive, this is not anything. It's just a game they're playing. Probably they went to State House to just discuss how they're going to blackmail the public. Yeah, that they have wrangle, they have a problem in between them, but in real sense there was nothing. Actually, these people, they discussed on what they are going, the games they are going to play, so that the public sees them as people who do not have a clear understanding of each other. The president knows very well what he's doing, and Judiciary also is aware of what the president is playing, and I think I think it is Kenyans to now be clear on what they want, or come out and speak. Yes.
Now, Chief Justice Chebukati, can that really happen?
Okay. Because the president will be the final appointee.
Yes, yes.
Of the Chief Justice, and the game is over here. If you look at the whole thing, the game is over here. These guys are just playing this thing. Judiciary is beyond Koome right now. I think Koome is just giving up. He's just carrying his hand and saying, "No, this thing is beyond me. Give it to someone else." And the game is the deal is done. With the coming back of Chebukati is just a clear show that Ruto wants people like Chebukati who are able to die with him in case things are hard. Yeah, something like that. That's my view. Yeah.
Now, if he is the Chief Justice and he has judges who are loyal to him, could they as well change the constitution behind closed doors and Kenyans only wake up to serious revelation that the constitution has been changed? Vitu kama term limit zimechenjiwa bila hata referendum, tukienda kotini, the court you approve because the only thing that can stands between us and executive, the judiciary. Can that happen?
Okay, I don't really think that can happen. If you look at the way Ruto fumbles with things, even the housing, whatever, things are getting out of his hand right now. And Kenyans are aware. Kenyans are more educated. We are not in that old Kenya where the president would just wake up and do things his way. Right now, I think Ruto will have to just follow the law. And probably doing these things, I think even when he comes in and brings the Chebukati name, it may even fail before it reaches his hand. I don't think Kenyans will accept such a thing. And even the Law Society, I think, will go to court and battle this for a long time to just make sure that it doesn't succeed the way he thinks. Chebukati, I don't really think. Maybe that was just a discussion, a plan they have as executive and judiciary. But whatever Raila is trying to say about Chebukati being Chief Justice, that it is the plan. I don't think it can work.
Now, with such a revelation coming out, does it create doubt in your mind that probably something fishy happened in the last election? Why reward them with such high positions?
Of course, all Kenyans are aware that Ruto did not win the previous election. All Kenyans are aware that Ruto was awarded by Judiciary. And he has to pay back. And this was done under some agreements. Koome is just busy demanding for the agreement to be fulfilled by the president on what he said. He wants more judges. And that's a fact, yes. And he wants to... Pardon?
And with these more judges and some being affiliated to the president,
yes.
Really, then it means nothing about William Ruto will ever fail in court?
Of course, he's trying to make things easier for himself, as he has just done in Parliament. You know, right now there is nothing Ruto will propose to go through the Parliament and then fail. He has owned the Parliament. Our Parliament right now is just a rubber stamp on what Ruto wants to do. The same he wants to happen into the court.
Yes.
And everybody in this this republic is seeing what Ruto is trying to do. He's just trying to make things easier for him. And it's like, it's very unfortunate that the people we are having, the people heading, someone like Koome, who is the president of the judiciary, is just accepting to everything from the judiciary, from the executive, I mean, from the president. Now,
yes.
If all this happens, I don't know where we will be moving, the direction we will be moving, because now Chebukati, assume Chebukati is now the Chief Justice of this republic. How will things work, surely? How will we even trust our courts? If he fumbled with the previous election and was seen the way it was, he announced our current president under a lot of tension, and the whole world saw it. How will it look like when now even the whole world sees him as the new appointed Chief Justice of the Republic of Kenya? Yeah, I think this one should be relooked proper. And now, one thing I know is that Raila also do not just talk. He never comes into public and just give a statement that is not there. He talks facts, and we can easily believe that this is a discussion that took place. Yeah, so I fail to understand. Even people who advise the president, I think they should be keen on other things. Taking someone like Chebukati to the judiciary as the Chief Justice, I don't think it's really making sense for this country. Yeah, if they're really for the good of this country, if they want this country to prosper. Yes.
Now, thank you very much, Mr. Kisumu CC. Before I even come to Mr. G, my final question to you would be this one. When you look at all this, could Mwananchi do something to prevent it in the law? Because these are almost presidential excesses where the president can choose to reward people who can manipulate the will of the people. Kisumu CC? All right, I seem to have lost him. But Mr. G, how are you? Hope you're well.
I'm fine, sir. How are you?
Karibu sana. Karibu sana kwa show, natumai uko mzima.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah, but I'm good. Yeah.
What do you make of Chebukati coming back in the limelight and even being one person who heads the highest office in as far as judiciary is concerned? What do you even make of that?
You know, this is a tough question, but you know, there is a statement that our new guy from Kisumu, the Kisumu CC, has just said that issue that when Baba speaks, he does not just speak. He always have something that he knows behind what he has spoken. Yeah. So I will agree with him because remember, a time back after that 2022 election, we had some allegation that a wife to Chebukati alikuwa anaenda kupewa kazi na this president. Sijui kama ulisikia that allegation, but we had the allegation that the wife was to be given, I think it was cabinet something ama CS ama it was something that she was going to be given. Na hiyo ilikuwa kama ku appreciate what the husband says. Do you know that after that 2022 election, nani alikuwa praised sana? Chebukati was the saint, he was the man of the day, was the man ambaye kila mahali kwa kienda wana praise kwa ni mtu ambaye amesaidia. In fact hata sasa kuna one of the UDA guy hapo kwa comment section, Mr. Ruto amesema kuwa Chebukati was a grave man. Anasema hiyo statement amesema hiyo siwezi iona vizuri, but amesema Chebukati is a grave man who saved Kenya from anarchy. In fact nilikuwa nataka as tunaendelea, nilikuwa nataka kama unaweza display this word anarchism inamaanisha nini? Because Ruto is here and is from UDA na amesema kuwa it is Chebukati who saved Kenya from anarchy. So I want you to just display this word anarchism, the meaning of the word anarchism as tunaendelea ndo tujue who is this person ambaye ana practice anarchism. Okay, going to what you ask, you know, Chebukati being a judge, even though nasikia kwa he has the profession in judge anaweza kuwa judge, but now just look at that picture. This is a guy ambao no one believes in him. No one believes in this guy because of the election ambao tulikuwa na 2022. Sasa who will have that confidence in Kenya? Just we citizens, who will have a confidence to Chebukati having his case before him as a judge? You know, that's a question that we need to ask ourselves. Who will have that confidence to go before Judge Chebukati now in the Supreme Court? Sioni kama kuna mtu atakuwa na that confidence. So as much as there are allegations tumesikia, kwa sababu sasa if at all wanaweza kuamend wanaweza kuamend kualete charges from 30 to 37, obviously there's some hidden agenda with this government, and it is true. This guy is just planning for 2027. Mr. Ruto is just planning for 2027. Kuna mic ambayo iko on, naona kama kuna echo mingi sana.
Sorry, it's me, sorry. Yes.
Yeah, look at this amendment ambao in fact hata sijui imetokea wapi, but it's from this government, the Ruto's government. They want to amend and increase the number of appellate court judges from 30 to 37. Why the amendment? Yeah? In fact, there's something, and they're planning, they're really focused on the 2027 election. Na watafanya vyovyote vile, lakini sasa the issue ni kuwa Chebukati and the other guy Hassan, and that picture, and sijui itaingilia vipi, but everything is possible in politics. You know, you cannot judge, you cannot dispute, because everything is possible in politics. And we know that Chebukati, as much as we hate him, ako na profession in judge, anaweza kuwa judge. So let's wait and see, because this is just a matter of time.
Yeah, he's a lawyer.
But yeah. So it's just a matter of time.
Of course, one of the qualifications for you to be an IBC chairman, you have to have the quality to be a judge. All right. So already he has that as a qualification going for him. If it was to happen that he even makes it to the appellate court, because I think that is what he wants to join through via, Kenyans, will they even accept if he huko kote?
No, Kenyans cannot accept, but you know the president has that power. Akiamua ni yeye, itakuwa ni yeye, hata si tukatee. Look at what happened in our situation wakati tulipinga the last election. It is a provision in our constitution that give us that mandate to picket na kuandamana. But what happened? The guy killed us, killed our people. In fact, alituma watu wanaenda mpaka wanaingia kwa nyumba to kill our people in the house. Wanatolewa kwa nyumba, vijana wanapigwa, wanauliwa. And yet it is a provision in our constitution that allows us to picket. Hakuna shida na kupicket. Na wakati tuna picket, they buy guns, wanakuja kuharibu vitu, wanasema itazimio ambao wanaharibu. So with Ruto everything is possible. He can do anything as long as amebaki kwa hiyo power.
All right. Kisumu CC, there is one thing that stood out from the revelation from Raila Odinga, that it was more than what we were told that happened in the State House. For example, Martha Koome went to seek for funds. Is that the right channel? Of course, Raila Odinga says it's not the right channel. Why seek for funds in State House?
Okay, it is not. Just as Raila is trying to put it, it is like Raila, who is not even a lawyer, is trying to teach Koome on what he's supposed to do in the judiciary. You know, he's the president of the judiciary. We only have 3 arms of the government in this Republic of Kenya. That is executive, we have judiciary, and parliament, headed by Wetangula. Now, why would somebody who is also a boss in one of the in one arm of the government go to beg for funds to employ more judges in the court? Another thing Raila said is very clear. There is no day Koome has requested for any additional of judges or any budget that went through a parliament and failed to go through. There is no day. Yes. Why would he go walk one by one to another arm of the government? This is somebody mwenye ameshindwa tayari kulinda boma yake. Ameshindwa na kazi. Yes. Now he's going to beg for things from another home where he's not supposed to. He's kneeling down so much to this man in the name of Ruto. Ruto is not above the law. He's just a president. Yes, and he's been given the mandate by Kenyans to run all this. Pardon?
Why is the fear of him so much that Parliament is almost vulnerable? Judiciary is now becoming. What is it in William Ruto that they fear that they cannot observe the rule of law?
To me, according to me, there is no fear in Ruto. Ruto is seeing very many things. One, you remember he wanted to increase the term limit. And as you know, he already sent somebody to test waters and proposed something like that is going to sponsor a bill of such in the parliament. It didn't go through. Later on, he came out and refused. He said he has not, he doesn't know something like that, and he cannot go against the constitution. Term limit of the president is 10 years. Okay. But that was just to confuse the public. He knew very well he was behind whatever was being sponsored by the MP. And this thing, it is something that is still not yet over. Ruto wants people who can interpret constitution differently to allow him to rule for more than 10 years. Actually, that is what he's after. Why increase more judges like the way he wants to do right now? Why bring Chebukati, who had retired after being IBC chairman? Why just him? We don't have judges who can be chief justices? Even if we are to remove Koome. So these things that are being done, I think we should look them proper. And our president, if it is possible, I think should be investigated. Yes. We are not heading the right direction in this country.
Can I comment something, Mr. Jake?
Just one moment, kidogo tu. Okay, go ahead, but I'll ask you guys another question. Go ahead.
Okay, I want to comment on this issue you asked about fear. Yeah, you asked about fear, and you said, why is it that people fear him? Yes, I can tell you, no one fears Ruto. The problem that happens to our people, to our parliament, to our parliamentarians, is the greediness, the money. You know, Ruto ni mtu wa kutoa pesa haraka. And these guys that are greedy, they need money. So everything that is being happen, they just want to please him so that they can get that money. You're greedy to us, but there's nothing that makes somebody fear Ruto. Although on the issue of courts and on the issue of judges, kama kuna one person ambaye may benefit more in this country with judges and courts is this guy called Ruto. Kwa sababu Ruto had many cases in court. Kuna kesi ya mashamba, grabbing shamba kama ya Mcheshi. The court ikamwambia alipe pesa, sijui kama alilipa hiyo pesa, almost 5 million. Sijui kama alilipa, but he was not arrested. Hakupelekwa kotini. We had a lot of cases. Yeah, he had a lot of cases, but still no court iliweza kumfunga. You see, amekuwa akibenefit kwa this court every time and then. So akijitokeza sahi atanapinga this court, you know, anaonekana kama somebody who is not really normal. You see, kwa sababu he's the only person ambaye benefit sana kwa hii issue ya courts. Hafai kupigana na court kabisa, anafaa defend. Okay, back to you, Jex.
Now,
although I had a request,
the same.
I had a request
Yes.
that you display that word anarchism on the
I'll be
on the screen. Yeah.
Anarchism, eh? All right, I'll be looking at that. But Kisumu CC, when you look at all this, is it now almost obvious that probably Chebukati was in bed with William Ruto way before the general election, and he knew, and that's why the confidence when he said, they cannot steal my my victory. Could he have known what was to happen?
Of course, that was obvious. If you want to know that that was true, he was in bed with Ruto, or they had discussed this earlier. It could be seen. It could be seen when Chebukati refused to discuss results with his commissioners before the release of the results, and he came up very arrogantly in a meeting, very arrogantly, and said he's the chairman and he's allowed. The constitution gives him a chance to declare results. Yes, to declare results even before it is complete. You remember the work had not been completed, or yes, and there was still time to announce results, but things were heading different direction, of which it was his fear. He had already eaten money. He was wondering what he's going to discuss with his boss. You understand? Now he had to come out arrogantly before the police and everybody to declare Ruto the president. Yes.
So when Cherela,
KK, just a minute on this issue about KK about Kisumu raise. There is somebody, not somebody, but yes. I had that allegation. I had the allegation that there is kuna ile cheo ambao Chebukati mwenyewe alijiwekea as the only person who can declare the results for the president. I think it was not in our constitution.
Hakujiwekea. It's okay, fine. It is his constitutional right.
He is the national returning officer.
Yes. It is either himself or his deputy.
There were allegations that there's a post ambali jiwekea. Sijui kama mlisikia that, but I had allegation that there is a post. I don't know if this thing called the presidential lot. He's the presidential lot.
Chief returning officer, the national presidential whatever.
I think there's something. Yeah, there's something that he posts himself, alijiweka tu mwenyewe, so that he can do this thing. So what I wanted to say ni kuwa there were plans, because concerning what Nana amesema, Kisumu Dala amesema, look at how the process was. Kitu kama Form 34A, Form 34A, book 1. Why was there another book, that Form 34A, book 2? Where did that book come from? And yet we only have one book, Form 34A, book 1. Hiyo ndio kitu kwa tunafanya kila wakati. And when the book came in, Chebukati mwenyewe alituambia the Form 34A book 2 haitatumika. But at the end of the day, kitabu ilitumika. So the plans were there, they discussed mapema, na walikuwa najua tunaenda kufanya. Yeah, that we cannot dispute it. They had planned it earlier.
Yes. From that scene alone was enough to show you that there was a plan, there was a deal in between Ruto and Chebukati. Because how he came out madly, Raila puts it very well. He came out as a mad person to declare presidential results alone, when other commissioners even boycotted and refused to go for the release of the results. Later on, they said no, those results were not correct. But he still insisted and defended the results. Yes. So they knew, and even our former president knew it. This is something they were all in the deal. We cannot run away from that.
No, but Kisumu,
And probably
that allegation that our former president knew, sijui kama ni ukweli bwana. That is a new allegation.
But it is
How did
almost
he knew anafaa kudanganya hivyo?
he was the sitting president.
Yeah,
and let me tell you, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
He was the sitting president, and let me tell you, before the chairman of the IBC declares the results of the new president-elect, he must go and discuss the results with the president. So our president knew about this thing before. Yes.
And equally,
I'm wondering, he came out very madly like a mad person after a meeting they had together with his commissioners to declare this result. So where and what time do you think he met the president and discussed the results? Sometimes we just have to reason up with these things.
No,
These
I'm
are
sorry,
common.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. You know, I thought that you said they knew the plan that I was talking about, the plan ile ya Chebukati and the Ruto. I don't know if our former president knew that plan. What I was trying to say ni kuwa this was a hidden plan ambao kila mtu amejua, but ukitaka kujua kuwa Ruto and Chebukati had a deal. Look at how those guys, the Kamaru walikuja wakati walishikwa. Look at how Ruto behaved. In fact, he was the only one who felt the pain na akawa hata kupiga watu akisikia kwa watu wameshikwa. Unakumbuka hiyo scenario? This was a deal well planned. But no, I thought that ulikuwa umesema pia Uhuru pia alikuwa ndani ya hiyo deal. That's why I said no, that is a new nini. Yeah, okay, sorry.
And Mr. Kisumu, CC, and Mr. G, when you look at how it all played out, many say that Chebukati was brought to Bomas by Akina Sapit. All this while, could we have a deeper story than what we know, deeper than what is being let out, so deep that probably some church guys could be involved as well?
But Jakes, look at that scenario wakati ametolewa kwake, because he had lost for almost hours before kutangaza hiyo nini. Yeah, alikuwa amepotea kabisa. But now for him to come, he had a security from the deputy president ambao alienda kumchukua, na kukawa na allegation kwa we had another team ilikuwa wafuata nyuma. Sijui ni timu gani ilikuwa wafuata nyuma, because that was allegation ambayo alikuwa anasema. But from his house he came the security from the deputy president, and deputy president knew everything that had happened. So this is a scenario ambayo kila mtu akamejua, and this guy called Sapit, even sahi mimi kwa namuita Sapite kwa sababu ni mtu ambaye alifanya Ruto alifanya Raila kuweza kupita, so is somebody ambaye he knew what happened na aliomba pia yeye. He prayed, he sang, he knew every deal. Sasa hata pia akijitokeza anasema sijui anataka kufanya nini, sijui government nini. No, he has to stand the way alisimama that time.
Yeah. Now, Mr. G, when you look at what Raila Odinga is saying, Raila Odinga has raised serious allegations that one, JSC has published some names. I think I saw that Gazette notice of I think around 20 judges, but they want to increase that number so as to accommodate the names that William Ruto is fronting. Now, does it not just compromise the entire process, the whole process from the JSC to the vetting process all the way to even the appointments of this judge? Does it not just compromise it?
It compromises. You know, Jack, you know why I requested you to share that word, that word anarchism. When you read that word anarchism, I think it talks about a political philosophy. Yeah, it talks about the theory advocating the abolition of heretical government and the organization of society. Yeah,
hierarchical government and the organization of society on a voluntary comparative basis without recourse to force or compulsion. Kizungu kubwa, but what does it mean?
There's another definition of it. It is a political philosophy and a movement that it is skeptical of all justification for authority and seeks the abolition, they abolish the institution. It claims maintaining unnecessary cohesion and heritage, typically including national states and capitalism. But when you look at that definition, it talks about somebody ambaye anaingilia institutions the government, somebody ambaye anataka to demolish things to favor him ama to do the things ambayo mwenye anataka kufanya. So when we talk about anarchism and we talk about the story ambayo unaongelea, you know, when these judges wanaletwa pale from the beginning tumeona kwa institutions zimekuwa affected na huyu jamaa, vitu mingi sana zimekuwa affected na huyu jamaa kwa sababu ametaka control everything, abaki kama yeye ndo ana say kwa hata paka parastatals pia ameingilia tayari, ama affect everything. So when these things start coming out, this just a show off that things are not going to be okay mbeleni. Kila kitu itakuwa ni yeye ana command na hakuna mtu atakuwa anampinga, hakuna mtu atakuwa anataka, yani atakuwa take captive of everything.
Yes.
And that is what we call state capture.
Exactly. Now that was the question I wanted to come in. Is that not state capture in the sense that somehow the president now operates above everything?
That is the state capture. Kwa sababu
where his interests are the ones that are favored, where no institution can question or even gag him in any way. Is that not state capture in simple definition?
That is the state capture. Just look at this scenario, Sahi. Our own MPs, before they make any decision in the parliament, before they do any move in the government, in the parliament, they have to go to State House and take orders. Wakishapata orders from State House, ndo anaenda kufuata those orders. Angalia sa mtu kama speaker who has to be independent, yeye amelalia upande wa state wa executive. Imekuwa ni state capture. Everything is being inakuwa led from the State House na ni directive tu wafanye venye State House inataka ya.
We talked about how parliament has been captured, and equally in his speech, Raila Odinga really spoke heavily of how one, it was wrong, it's wrong for it to seem as though one Moses Wetangula is going to court to defend a government position. What do you make of it? Because we really talked about it here in the show.
In fact, the speaker should not be there falling on the trap of the government, of executive. Speaker anafa awe independent. But when you see him going again on a side with the executive, that shows that there is a problem in between. Because somebody like Muturi, the Attorney General, he was the one for that role. But yeye mwenyewe haonekani, hata hayuko in every vicinity. Now, the person who was supposed to be independent, ameachana na kazi yake na role yake, ameenda kwa executive. This shows exactly that there's something wrong with the policies and everything that is being used by this government.
When you look at it, it began very interestingly. William Ruto goes to a funeral, and then in that funeral, how it all began, if you remember, we looked at it in this show equally, or rather in previous shows. He begins by saying, unajua, judges are corrupt, and we must have a conversation. And the castigations went on. The UDMPs joined in the chorus of how judges are corrupt. Martha Koome and Nike joins in on defending the judges, saying, if you have evidence, please bring it before JSS, but don't have blanket condemnation against judges and the institutions, that is the judiciary. Little did we know we'll have a meeting. Of course, she asked for the meeting. The president agrees for the meeting. In a twist of things, he invites her and the speaker. All right, and now the speaker wanna meet na yeye, Chief Justice, na the president, and then such revelations comes in, and then you have the speaker going to the Supreme Court directly without even considering using the Attorney General, directly, of course, almost I'm sure Parliament has a way of how it sends its cases in court. Now, what do you make of it? Do you see a situation where now it's Moses Kuri, Moses Wetangula before Chief Justice Martha Koome, who they had a meeting between him and her and the president concerning such issues and talking about corruption, and now they have brought an appeal before her? Do you see her being fair, or she might rule in favor? Those are some of the things that were playing out in that esteemed State House.
You know, Jakes, we don't know what they spoke. We just speculate, but we don't know what exactly they spoke in the State House, and don't know which orders were given in the State House. But we are just speculating. But the truth is, Jakes, corruption is in our percent of those judges that are corrupt. That is the truth. But now, this guy called Ruto talking about corruption. Look at the cases about cases ya shamba, case of grabbing land, case of kufanya nini, mpaka kesi ya kuua watu ile ya 07. You see, and this is a guy ambaye amekuwa kwa court for a very long time. So when he talks about corruption, I think he knows because he's a culprit. Ni mtu ambaye mhusika sana kwa hii vitu, so he knows, but he's trying to bring the former government into it. Unaona wakati later that statement kuwa the former government ilikuwa na set aside money for corruption, to corrupt judges and to give judges. So he's trying to drag the former government into a mess ambao ni yeye mwenyewe alicreate. Yeye mwenyewe alikuwa anafanya kitu. All this corruption ni yeye amekuwa akifuatilia. Tangu tuanze, I think Uhuru nimemwona kwa court wakati alikuwa na defense his people. Hiyo wakati wa 07. I think that is the only time nimeona Uhuru akiwa kotini. These other days, sijaona Uhuru mara sija kwenye grab land nini. Those are just allegations ambao ziko nje. So somebody who has been in the courts for many times is Ruto. Somebody who has been corrupting these judges ni Ruto. Mtu amekuwa anapatiana watu pesa ni Ruto. And everything falls under him.
It even makes it interesting. The first people that one William Ruto appointed was the IG, Inspector General of Police. The DCI head had to change heads. And eventually he came out castigating Akina Kinoti, Akina Mtiambai, because of what he termed then state capture. And kidogo cases that were huge. People who were tagged with cases behind them, Akina Aisha Jumwa, Akina Mithika Rinturi, Akina DP mwenyewe Gashagwa, their cases began collapsing. Does this inform of the future of how, one, he can change anyone in office who does not sing his chorus? Two, he can influence a case on how it's determined. And three, a case can be frustrated to the level that it collapsed. Look at what happened to Arol and Kimwarel. The judge came out and said, you know what? The prosecutor has failed to do his work. And because of that, there's no need to continue. Hence, she dropped the case. Do you see that being the trajectory everything will be headed from here henceforth?
The fact that he was able to call the CJ and the CJ, Chief Justice, into State House, that shows that he's able to do anything in favor of his in favor of him, because everything that he wants, he'll be just calling these people. Alafu atakuwa na a narrative that they are talking matters and the nation matter. You see, just to convince people kwa wanaongea vitu ambavyo si corruption. He'll just tell people that I'm calling this guy, I'm calling CJ, we talk matters concerning the nation. But the truth in kuwa is going to interfere into his issue. Court ikifanyika iwe into his favor. Anything that happens iwe into his favor. Look, there's an article before 2022 election that was shared in the media. Na nilikuwa na hiyo article na sijui nimeipoteza vipi, whereby they are trying to compare Ruto and Raila and other people who is the state capture person. Wakawa wanaonyesha vile watu walikuwa wanaenda kwa hoteli ya Ruto, vile Ruto alikuwa anachukua sijui tenders, sijui Ruto anafanya nini, wakawa wanaonyesha kabisa everything kuonyesha kuwa Ruto al benefit kwa that government ambapo anadanganya kuwa imekuwa captured by Uhuru, kumbe ilikuwa captured na yeye mwenyewe. I lost that article, lakini nitaendelea kutafuta. But what I'm trying to say ni kuwa he can influence anything that he wants by manipulation.
All right. Mhm. We are equally joined by Alex Media and Leo Nyabaya and Kisumu CC. Asante sana wadau kwa kuwa part of the show. You can join in the conversation and we have a great time here at Afrique 24. We are looking at the damning revelation by one Raila Odinga concerning what transpired in the meeting that happened, I think 2 Mondays ago, between the president and one Martha Koome. What do you make of it? What do you make of what Raila Odinga is saying? I'm seeing wengi wana participate hapo kwa comment section. Asante sana. Many watching us. Thank you very, very much. All right. Now, let me come to you, Bwana Alex. How are you? Hope you're well.
I'm good. I'm good. I thank God.
Mhm. We had this show yesterday. And today, just like a crystal ball, we almost predicted a speech that came out, and it was so on point. What do you make of Raila's damning revelation?
You know, the first question you should ask, who revealed to Raila that all that he revealed today, and
Mm-hmm.
we must have speculations and predictions.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there are people in State House who feel
Mm-hmm.
like what Ruto is doing is, universally wrong or nationally wrong.
Mm-hmm.
So Raila to have gotten this expose, which is
Yes, yes.
perfectly true, I believed him, whatever he said.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes.
And there is nothing that he said is not true. And we said
Uh-huh.
yesterday a plan to get Koome out by Ruto,
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
by the fact that what we saw, Ahmed Nasir
Mm-hmm.
speak, and also because
Mm-hmm.
we predicted it's Nelaola. But now
Mm-hmm.
we were shocked that it's Chebukati.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Now,
yes.
I don't have a problem with Isaac Hassan, but I have a problem with
Mm-hmm.
Chebukati. If
Yes,
you look
yes.
at the predictions of who revealed that Raila, it must be
Mm-hmm.
somebody in State House.
Yes, yes.
It is not from the Supreme Court.
Uh-huh.
Now, if it is from State House, why would that somebody reveal such things to Raila? Because he must have given him the whole report, because the way Raila was speaking, and you could see Sifuna on the side, it means that Sifuna read the report and interpreted it to Raila, and he was next to him. And the next person who was on this side, I don't know who that was. I've never seen him before. So Raila was
Mm-hmm.
flagged in between, not with the Azimio members the way he has done before. Because I think
Mm-hmm.
even the other people came to know today as we were watching. I think Kalonzo
Yes, yes.
and Martha Koome came to know it today, and that's how Baba deals with it. That person
Mm-hmm.
in State House must have spoken with many other people and asked, Ruto wants to capture the youth. Where is the next thing that can happen? I think there are people now who are getting jittery and afraid of what Ruto is doing.
Mm-hmm.
In State House alone,
Yes, yes.
and directly
Yes, yes.
they called Raila through a proxy and gave him that report.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But we knew that there's something that's wrong with Ruto. When we
Mm-hmm.
saw Wetangula go, and Baba spoke about Wetangula too, and Baba said, when he spoke about Wetangula, he said, what a shame. He
Yes,
didn't
yes.
want to go deep, but he said,
Mm-hmm.
what a shame.
What a
And we
shame.
know, what a shame. And the way he said it, you could feel that there is more to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Then
Mm-hmm.
Baba went further to say how these people want to get in.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, they have to create, Ruto asked Koome for 5 positions. And
Mm-hmm.
Koome was given a
7
lot of money.
for 7
Was it
position.
7?
5 in the
7?
7, 5 in High Court, 2 in the Court of Appeal. 7.
Yeah, 7. 7, I agree. So I forgot the 2 in the Court of Appeal. And the Court of Appeal, that is going to be Hassan and Chebukati.
Chebukati,
And the
yes.
other ones, yeah, and the other ones were going to be in the other court. Now, when we look at this, is that what Koome went to do in State House? What she did not
Mm-hmm.
know is that her removal is near.
Mm-hmm.
What she didn't know. Yes, she was
No wonder
given
the
money.
petition yesterday.
Yeah, no wonder the petition
Mm-hmm.
that came yesterday. And
Mm-hmm.
that Kojo man, I doubted him.
Mm-hmm.
That Kojo man, I doubted him. Okay? And that thing is going to Judicial Service Commission. And I told you, she must recuse herself because they are talking about her.
Yes.
So the plan to remove Koome is there. But the question I'm still asking, who revealed this to Raila? Because it is perfect and the report is perfect and nobody's going even to say that the report is not perfect. So my prediction is there are people in State House, and those people in State House are absolutely against what Ruto is doing.
Yes,
Ruto
yes.
is not listening to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Ruto is not listening to anybody. And the problem that we have now is that the Speaker of the House, Wetangula, is mad with Raila and has vendetta. And he wants to show him that you remove me out of the minority seat in the Senate, I can also deal with you. Now, the other question now I go, are they going to succeed? Are they going to succeed? You know, this thing made us even forget about the fire and the explosion that Wakina Ruto did. I totally believe that those houses were burnt to create space for their own things. I totally believe that. Okay? So we are in an era whereby if we allow the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal and the other courts that we have, like Industrial Court and others, to be touched, that is the end of care. That is the end of care. So I appeal now, what is the next step? So in my next submission, I will tell you that what is the next step that we ought to take in order to save this thing? Because I know they are listening to us. They listen to us. And we must tell them the truth to their face. Thank you. Yes.
Yes, yes. I'll be coming to you with more. Today I have like a trillion of questions. So really, after Maji. Bwana Leo Nyabaya, good to see you. Hope you are well. Najua umekuwa mtalii. Wewe na president hamtulii bwana. Mara uko kwa kina Mr. G, kidogo uko kwetu. Nitakusikia umefika Kisumu. Oh, ulikuwa Kisumu pia. Wewe na Prezo mmekuwa natembea, mnatembea kabisa.
Alikuwa Kisii jana.
Bwana Leo natembea vipi? Leo, I hope you still went with your voice. Leo, can you hear me? Leo Nyabaya. All right.
Leo amekuwa asikii vizuri, maybe he's not feeling okay.
I know. Amepatwa na ile story yenye ina trend ya red eye. But I wish him well. But amekuwa natembea, but anyway, yeye na president wako hivi. President akiland, yeye ana fly. Anaitwa Leo Nyabaya, equally a very good panelist up Africa 24. Okay, let me come to you, Mr. Kisumu CC. Alex is raising a very pertinent question. Who could have leaked such damaging information to Raila Odinga? And what could be the motive?
Okay, Mr. Honorable Alex.
Yes.
One thing I want to really discuss with you guys is that Raila is a very mysterious guy. And you must be very careful. And that is why we cannot even accept that Raila goes on retirement. This republic needs that guy more and more. Remember, let me just start just from when Raila and the Azimio Brigade went to Bondo after Mandamano to bury those who were killed by police. Do you remember the statement that came from this guy, anaitwa nani? Wajakoya. Wajakoya said, you look at this guy here. This guy is not a human being. Huyu jamaa ni upepo. Because when he was referring to how this guy used to escape police when his car is being beaten by police, being tear gassed, And at times, they think this guy was in the car and had already gone. I really don't believe that maybe somebody from the State House has leaked this information to Raila. Raila has his own way of getting information. And no one will ever know. This one I'm telling you for a fact. They will investigate. Uhuru tried to deal with it. It failed totally. They only had one option, to become friends and have a handshake. Ruto will deal with this one. He will fail, and finally, he will accept Raila's demands from Azimio's side. That is when he will have peace in this country. I believe there are many, many more. And there was a leakage by somebody. I don't know whether I should speak this one here. Maybe somebody will ask me tomorrow, where did you get this?
I hope we can verify, but say it.
Now,
it's okay. You say it. We'll verify. Yeah, we dig for facts.
Yeah. It is said that there are a lot of information from different areas in State House, whereby any meeting that is going to be conducted in there, in the State House, Raila will always have a leakage of what is being spoken or what the agendas were. So don't mind about that. I don't know. I read it somewhere from a source that I can also tell you. There is that. It was revealed. But again, you must also understand, and I agree with Mr. Alex, that this country, the whole republic is tired with this guy. He doesn't take instructions. He doesn't listen to anybody. He is above everything. He knows better the ministries. You'll just try to imagine that last time he was lecturing his CSs, that he knows more in their ministries than what they should know. To an extent, you've given me a job, and again, you want to tell me how I'm supposed to do that job. And you're my boss. You should be quiet, remain in your office and wait for my reports. See whether I'm performing or I'm not. If I'm not, fire me. Employ another person. Okay?
Yes.
Let us not just accuse somebody. Let Ruto not just accuse CSs that he has himself employed. He's the one who selected them. People like Aisha Juma. If they are not performing, who told you to select them in those offices?
Thank you.
I think it is high time Ruto should assess himself and learn to be a manager. Yeah.
Jex, can I comment something before Alex comes in?
Actually, I want to ask you something before you even allow Alex to come in. My question is, could we be having a mole in State House? Or as Kisumu CC is saying, Israel wind? But, I don't even know.
Okay, let me not use that word wind. I should not use that word wind. But what I know, is that Raila is well networked. He has a well connected and organized network. Yeah.
Go ahead,
and whatever anything happens in Kenya, Raila will know because of his network. He's well organized. The network is well organized. Mpaka kwa State House. That's why hata hii deals za GTG. You saw wakati GTG liletwa na kina Uhuru na kina nani Ruto and Rigi G. But when Baba came out with the report, he knew everything. Mpaka ile story kwa ameenda kufanya kule Dubai, he knew everything. So Baba is well connected and the network is strong and well organized. Hatuwezi kama ni upepo. Hiyo upepo tutumia tu upepo. Yeah, tutumia tu upepo because
I'm saying the network will never go away. Even if today Ruto fires everybody and employs fresh people in the State House, he will still have the leakage. The network is too big.
I love what you said. Baba is the wind. Yeah, interest. But I don't know. We
But you remember, yes,
we will verify that.
yes, you remember even, I mean,
Yes,
you
yes, Mr.
remember
G.
even this guy,
Mm-hmm.
you remember this guy called,
Mm-hmm.
Mesau tena jina yake, this Manyora, Herman
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Manyora,
no
he called
Manyora.
him a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he called him a spirit. So Baba has
Mm-hmm.
always been informed. Anything can happen, Baba
Mm-hmm.
huwa yuko informed. Everything can happen. So he's well
Mm-hmm.
organized with his network. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Now, I see Alex ametoka, but I wanted to ask this. Baba has at times ananga stories za jaba. You know, zile story unasemanga, these ones you cannot verify. Sometimes his predictions are almost spot on. He spoke about G2G, and true to his word, it was a scam. And
But you know, Jex,
they
look at
came
that
out and
comment.
said
Look
it
at
was
that.
the masterpiece. It was the grandiose form of a plan that any government countries are copying that. Yes, yes. Yes, Mr. G.
Sorry, there's a comment ambayo iko reckless hapo, imetumwa na Mr. Ruto. Nilikuwa nataka uisome. You know, I don't know where amepata hiyo statement, but that is a reckless statement.
Achana tu naye. Let's stick to the show. Achana naye. Let's stick to the show
Can you
because
read it?
hii show when people rewatch it, they don't. Let's not even go there. Now, Honorable Alex, Raila Odinga hananga mtindo ya kuwa na stories za jaba. Wengi wanasema hivyo. And at times he has a way of almost predicting the mistakes that happened. He's the one who brought out so many scandals that came to be NYS among many. Here is another damaging revelation. And Kenyans believe in what at times he says. So if what he says is anything to be true, and you ask the rightful question, what is his source? Now my question is, would we be having a mole, or as Kisu Sisi saying, he is a wind that might be knowing so much than we back him for, and equally, if there is a mole, um, in whose interest could this mole be working for? The interest of Kenyans, an ardent Azimio supporter, or Baba's spy in Ruto's regime? What what would you make of, because this is a very serious very serious, damaging one actually. What do you make of this all?
Let's start from how the Raila started his day today.
Alex?
Raila went, yeah, let's start. Can you hear me?
Mm-hmm.
Let's start from where Raila started his day today.
Yes, I can now hear you. Sorry, I'm having some issues with my end.
Yeah, so Raila went to a funeral, and that funeral was Kimunya. Kimunya's wife had died.
Mm-hmm.
And Raila said that he has been, and even Ida has been a friend to his wife for many years. You know, this man operates in a friendship sometimes that I wonder. Kimunya, remember when he was the blue eye of Kibaki, he used to shoot Raila mbaya sana. Remember the Safaricom saga when they wanted to sell the IPO? Raila had a problem with Kimunya vibaya sana, and they disagreed. And Raila made sure that the IPOs were not bought by the government officials. They were given to Wananchi. So they announced the IPO. So when today Raila goes to Kimunya's funeral and says that they were friends in a manner, it makes me wonder. So remember during COVID, tulikuwa na matanga nyingi sana, especially kwa Wakikuyu. Kuna ule mwimbaji, kuna some politicians walikufa. I mean, kulikuwa na matanga nyingi sana. And Raila, when he used to go to those matangas, he used to say, he was my friend, we did this, especially the governor of Nyeri, Brother Gachagua. When he died, he said he first took him. He's the only person he campaigned for what? For that seat.
For what? For that seat. Sorry for that. Sorry for that. I'm
Can
trying
you
to
mute?
It's not being mute. There's a serious setting that I don't have. Sorry for that.
So
Go ahead.
what I can say is this. Raila has a network of friends, even within State House. You may think that Raila, he's yani akona adui fulani. And the way those people sometimes speak in the rallies, you may think that they totally left Raila. There are people who walitoka ODM wakaenda UDA because they knew that's where they could win their seats. And they must have talked with Baba first, and Baba tell them, I've given you my blessings, you go. But remember, the liberation is still on. So the way Raila operates is totally different from the way Ruto operates. When Ruto becomes your enemy, it's total enemy. But Raila does not allow enmity within his circle. And that has come to make me jittery because I think as Baba is growing older, now he should be more careful of his friends. But it's good that he has friends in State House. For me, I will say this. The people that are revealing these things are from State House. It is not from nowhere. It is from State House. And they are uncomfortable where the country is going. And they have known planning a Ruto, and they know what Ruto wants to do to this country. And Ruto wants to rule this country as long as he can. And when these people look at that is why they are State House, and they compromise on this, they will be blamed by Kenyans forever. Remember the mood of the country where it is. These people understand that the future will judge us. Our children will remain here to be judged, that your father and your mother were part and parcel of this. You know, still there are people who are in the State House who have consciousness. Remember that. Don't think everybody's a fool. You might have taken a job because you thought this man was going to revive the economy of Kenya. But now the way you have seen he is operating, you know, you are jittery. And you're asking a question, are we headed in the right direction? Remember, there were how many CS that wanted to resign? According to what we had, there was an expose that also, there were about, I knew Ndungu wanted to resign. I knew Aisha Juma wanted to resign, and others. I don't know how many. But when they went to Ruto, Ruto warned them that they won't resign. They are part and parcel of this government. He even refused to open those letters. So, Jakes, there are people full of consciousness in State House. And the grand plan of Ruto is to take over, and Gachagua will never even see that president. He wants to rule as long as he can. And this is going to come out. What I'm saying is going to come out. And that is what they are trying to prevent. That is what also these people in State House are trying to prevent. Because we are going to have a monarch or a dictator that knows how to lie to the world. Museveni ameshamjua, Suluhu ameshamjua, Kagame ameshamjua, but watu hawezi mjua ni wazungu. Unaelewa? So that's where I can leave that. For me, I still believe there are moles in the State House. And those moles are powerful and are next to him. And Ruto will never know. Because you might find it spiritual. Don't even be surprised. Because the way this guy is ruling this country, there are people who are afraid. You might find it's Murkomen. Murkomen kept on going to Wanga all the time. He kept on going to Homa Bay every time. And at one time, he said, I'm a student of Raila Amolo Odinga. He's the one who put me to politics. Without Raila, there would not have been Murkomen a cabinet. So it is a person that is so close to Ruto and who knows the details, because that expose was in details. Unaelewa? He just said if a raindrop, but utapata kuna kesha akisema kitu ingine, kesho ingine, and that's how Baba operates. When he knows, remember how when he started doing all this corruption, leo anasema healthcare ya dada ya Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, kesho yake anaenda Waiguru NYS, kesho yake anaenda hii, kesho mpaka akafanya Uhuru akashindwa kugovern this country. To a point that Uhuru alikuwa anachukiwa so much that he couldn't go anywhere. Uhuru akaanza kuacha kwenda, akakaa tu State House anakunywa pombe na kulala kwa sababu he couldn't govern the country. Kesho utasikia tena baba analeta peace ingine. Unaelewa? So for me, I believe this thing came from State House. It did not come from anywhere. It couldn't come from nowhere because it is so deep. And Nani was so uncomfortable. If you could look at the body language of what Nani Sifuna wanted Baba to reveal everything. But Baba akafika njiani akamalizia abruptly. Did you see that?
Yes, exactly.
Baba alimaliza abruptly. Akajua mahali anaachia, kesho yake ataanzia wapi. He wanted Ruto to test and understand now they know the grand plan. Now we want to see the response because Ruto does not keep quiet. We want to know the response of Ruto in details, in rallies, kesho, whereby his hecklers will start. Now that response will tell us the position. Now I think for the first time, Chebukati may try to defend himself or Isaac Hassan because their reputation are now being destroyed. So I think Chebukati may keep quiet because of the guilty. Let us wait for Isaac Hassan because Isaac Hassan works in the same department, in the same law firm with Ahmed Nasir. You know that. Isaac Hassan and Ahmed Nasir work in the same law firm. So let us see how Ahmed Isaac, because I know he's going to respond. Kesho, and then we will now analyze everything and know where the source was. Thank you. It's your voice.
Can you hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Very good. Now, I'm having some challenges. I'm trying to find help here. But let me come to you, Mr. G, with this question. What can we do to tame such, because such powers are very, very serious, because if a president can almost literally change all the institutions to favor his own selfish ambition, how can mwananchi, do we need to relook at our constitution? Because some of these excesses are serious, because yes, anaweza go through the term limits kama kawa, lakini even the term limits zenye ameharibu everything. We need to relook at our constitution on what the president can and cannot do in as far as appointment and firing and hiring some of these independent institutions, if they are independent for starters.
But Jakes, talking about the constitution, this guy, ambaye is the president, is the one who has, in fact, ameachana na constitution. He doesn't follow even in constitution. Sasa constitution haina shida, because the problem is we people, we citizens. The constitution has given us power, and we can take our power back if we want. The problem is that we don't know how to act on our power, and we don't understand the power ambao constitution imetupatia. The constitution. This government, not this government, this president doesn't like this constitution. In fact, I remember time back wakati wakawa anatengeneza this constitution alikuwa ameipinga tayari. So he doesn't believe in this constitution. That's why even in laws he doesn't not believe. I think kuna echo mahali.
Allow me to end this. I'll find a way to start it.